Greetings, listeners. I'm your host and game master this evening, Zach Barrett, and welcome to this Twisted Gear Studios production of Spacers, our Starfinder actual playcast. Last we left the crew, they had escorted Captain Argus to the prison station Purgatory, out in the vast. Here, they met with the Warden and his prized prisoner, the supposed leader of the enigmatic Seven, Xovakteka the Avarice.
So you head on down into the dark void-like, almost plexiglass-covered room. The light, if it were to come from anywhere, almost seems like it's coming from the tops and bottoms of this plexiglass barrier that separates the area with the seating and the cell that holds Xovakteka proper. Or as you've also been told, his name is the Avarice. And as you enter, very Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs-esque, standing there in a jumpsuit watching you all walk in, as he's already been looking in this direction after Farah had left. Do you guys wish to combat in the corner real quick, or are you just going straight in?
I'm probably going to be hovering by the door. Greg's just going to go straight in until... if there's a moment where he realizes he's by himself.
Well, I'll be right here.
I'll stand kind of behind them with my arms crossed, just glaring at Xovak. I'm not trying to intimidate him.
I'm the talker.
As I don't think there's much point. But
I'm not, okay.
I am not making my hatred and disdain for this individual hidden at all.
Okay.
So Diantha and Greg take point basically in this.
Yeah.
Let's get that 8 charisma going.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I just realized that I'm the person who's supposed to do talking a lot of the time.
There's a reason that we're the least emotional people. It's because we don't really have the ability to really communicate super well to others.
I'm very good at communicating when I'm screaming.
Okay.
I'll walk up and I'll just be like, "What time is it? Is it evening? Is there time in this?"
You go for you asking what time
No,
it is?
I'm just like asking you.
It's the galaxy of the midnight sun.
Yeah, she basically wants to go like, good evening.
Yeah, I would like to say good morning or something. I just don't know if it's morning or night.
It would be late afternoon.
Okay, I walk up, like, good afternoon. We just have a few questions we'd like to ask you.
Who are you?
My name is Diantha. That's all you need to know.
My name's Maurice.
I'm not even gonna get you roll a deception check for that. He wouldn't know any better.
No, he wouldn't.
He just stands and looks back and forth at you guys, each waiting for you to say something.
We've been recently approached to deal with your group, as it were, or at least some of them. I imagine you aren't exactly friendly with all of them. Well, I see that you aren't much of a conversationalist.
I'm waiting for you to become more specific.
Well, we're looking to track down a few more of you.
A few more of me.
You aren't the only one.
I'm afraid your specificity is lacking. I have a whole planet of Vesk that you could pilfer some. You seem to have a Vesk over there.
I'm not interested in the Vesk aspect of you. I'm interested in the Seven aspect of you.
State your terms.
We have been approached by the Warden to round up a few more of you. And I imagine that the reason you're in here isn't because that your fellow group worked especially well with you. Unless you just didn't. You missed a few shoulder checks.
Am I to assume that you are requesting the locations of the other members of the 7?
Even just one would be just fine.
I haven't the slightest clue.
Insight check. No, sense motive check.
I'll post that with his with one of his rolls here. Okay. What'd you get?
14.
This guy's a stone wall.
Okay.
It's like obviously you had the sense to roll a sense motive check, but looking at him, he hasn't changed his expression the entire time he's been here.
All right. So I'll just say, mind if I'm curious at how you got in here in the first place. You seem like a rather difficult man to capture.
Yes.
So it's strange that you, of all people, managed to find yourself in here.
So she didn't want the story known.
Hmm? Oh, so there is something more here. I imagine that one of your partners in crime broke a partnership.
You think one of the 7 put me here?
I can't imagine anybody else. You guys are untrackable.
I wouldn't go that far.
No? So you leave some kind of clues where you go?
The manners in which we leave our victims behind are, to my understanding, unique in their violence.
Yes, I've noticed. We've come across in incidents. But unfortunately didn't leave much in terms of where they went afterwards.
And you said you're Kleptek, you're standing by the door, away from everybody else?
I'm probably inching a little bit closer to where Laurel is standing. I don't want to be out in the open. I'm going to go from one place to another.
Okay. As you're transitioning, Kleptek, it's the one time he breaks eye contact with Diantha, and he looks over at you. And as he continues answering Diantha's questions, he's staring at you and giving you a very interesting side, head turn.
Do I notice this?
Yeah. He's not very secretive about it.
As soon as
But
Kleptek
he's
is...
still answering your questions to you.
Do you come right up to me?
I'm probably going to be up
Soon
to
as
your side or something.
Kleptek is close enough, I'm just going to stand in front of him.
He tries to look right through you.
You seem to have taken an interest in my friend back there. Any particular reason?
It's upon you addressing that he's not looking at you and the fact that you've broken his line of sight with Kleptek. He then looks back to you, Diantha.
Your friend?
Of course.
What is their name?
I'm going to telepathically, basically almost scream into her head, because that's one of my abilities, is I can talk. Don't tell them a name. Don't tell them a name.
I can tell you recognize who they are. I don't think you need validation.
I never did know their name.
Unfortunate.
It's one of hers, isn't it?
I'm gonna freak out. And I'm going to actually perform a mind thrust on this guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
So okay.
So
you'll
I have
what?
to. So you go to cast the spell, and as you thrust out and reach out with your mind, you feel that the glass barrier actually blocks the spell from going through. You get the sense that if they collected your weapons at the front, that they have resistances for spells in here too, as you can carry that with you.
Okay, but I'm gonna say within my action of trying to do it, I do a more of a strenuous action than I've done before, and I've got this sense of panic and rage on my face. Do they feel any vibrations or anything of the attempt?
Yeah,
or...
it's more of a mental spell. So it's one of those things where it doesn't leave like a visual or auditory thing, but you guys watch as Kleptek steps forward. He pushes some kind of a force in towards Xovak. Whilst a mental spell, you do feel this sense of reverberation as it bounces back off of the walls and kind of like a wave hits you from it, like kind of like a heat wave is the best description of it.
Does that count as one of my spells cast today then?
Yes, you did cast the spell.
Alright.
Yo, hey. I reach out and I grab his shoulder and I kind of just like pull Ecliptic back behind me. It's like, hey, no. It's, that's not gonna work in here. Just stay back. It's,
I'm probably like... Probably just, I have no words. I literally have, that's the first time I think anybody has seen me in rage. It's probably the first time I've had that emotion in a very long time that I have no words to say. I'm just probably hyperventilating.
The most notable thing? Unfazed. He's not laughing at you. He's not smiling about it. He's not grinning. He's not flinching. No reaction whatsoever to it.
I look back there. Who's this she you're asking about?
Are you still within visual sight of him, Ecliptic?
Yes, I would be. Yeah. Unless, did you stand in front of me?
Yeah, I kind of pull him back, and just sort of like try to like usher you behind me.
I think in my rage I wouldn't be breaking contact though. Eye contact with, or visual of him.
So he goes back to staring at you as he answers Diantha's question.
The drow.
What about the drow?
I feel like we're on a difference of definition. I don't mean the species. The drow. Matriarch. A friend of mine who breaks.
You got a lot of friends for someone who's by himself in a box.
I do.
Has anyone told you you're boring? You don't talk enough. You should talk more. About anything? At all?
Anyways.
Shut up, Greg.
Why are we here?
The drow is a matriarch. Is it a drow or is it something else?
She's the single most, if not as evil, an evil presence in space. I'm trying to figure out my words because I'm so mad.
Oh, fabulous. Always love to hear of a new, unfortunate existence in the world. So this is a friend of yours?
Yes.
One of the 7?
No.
Well, then we're off topic.
Can I sense motive to see if he's lying about if the drow is?
Greg's gonna roll.
That's a natural 20!
Natural 20? Okay, with a natural 20...
Greg doesn't have to roll.
you get the sense that it's a half-truth. That there is that she has an affiliation, but he may be telling the truth in the sense that she is not one of the top targets that the Warden listed.
Okay, but she is.
But there is some relation,
relation. Where would this...
So strictly by the use of his words, he is not lying.
Okay.
But by his intention, he is.
So where would one find this drow anyways?
Oh, she doesn't drift far away from the apostate. Stays in the packed worlds. Why put yourself in harm's way when you can have so many people do your dirty work for you?
For the same reason you probably ended up in a box. Accidentally.
And yet this doesn't stop me.
Stopped you from what?
Greg kind of looks around a little bit. Sure.
Stuff.
Greg's blinking.
So is this drow the person who got you in this box anyways?
No.
So it's a different she that put you in here.
The same she that brought you here.
Yeah? How interesting. So that... She's human, right? The captain? That...
And not in the room with you, but she
Yeah. So that human, that relatively small, compared to you human, managed to capture you and throw you in this room by yourself?
Yes.
Sense motive!
That's a natural 19.
Attach your d6 to that, don't forget.
28.
28? He's not lying. It seems like... But he doesn't seem to have any kind of negative association to that knowledge. But it doesn't seem like there's a lie there. He is honest that Farah is the one who put him in here.
Okay.
As a fit of trying to find something to not be angry about, I kind of laughing. How embarrassing.
Unless, of course, it was intentional.
Do I frighten you?
No, I'm not really frightened of you at all. I mean, you're on the other side of, like, this, whatever it is. Big, like,
I just have another
glass or whatever.
I have another question.
Plus, that jumpsuit looks really bad on you.
Are you in here of your own volition?
It depends.
On what?
Are you implying that I have a choice?
I'm implying that it seems unreasonable that one person would be able to find you and bring you here if you weren't, at least in some way, compliant.
Unless they were supposed to.
Supposed to what?
He seems to not respond to that clarification.
Is this a love child thing? Because I find a lot of these situations sometimes come down to that.
I just give Greg a look.
Well, you know, the relationships are complicated. Anyway.
So that if asked if he was compliant, did his, like, overall stoicity change at all, or was it still pretty solid?
He's barely even blinked since
Yeah.
you walked in this room.
Okay. All right.
Just ask him about where he can find his buddies. We're not getting nowhere.
I'm going to lose my patience because I just want to get out of this damn cell as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm going to kind of go up to the glass and go, where are your generals?
They're often, you mean my prizes?
Whatever you call them. Tell us where one is.
They'll be doing the bidding of my vice. My vice will be on my ship.
Where is your ship?
You may find it around the Avarice system.
It's a star system you don't recognize the name of. That's the name of it, Havasath. It does not ring a bell to any of you. But then again, your knowledge of the Seven up until this point is that they explore unexplored areas and stay there. So it's unsurprising.
I've not heard of that system. How do I find that system? How do we find that system?
And why are you so forthcoming with it?
Have you ever seen my ship?
I can't say I have.
I doubt you could do anything irreparable to it.
Is it made out of the same glass as your box? This seems pretty impervious. Impervious, that's a good word. I can remember that one.
Oh my god.
Well,
We get what we came for.
I think so as far as we can tell.
But we don't know where the system is.
We'll have to figure it out on our own. Do you have any last parting words for us before we leave you?
The Avarice system is the next one to be explored by the Atlantis Star Empire. We'll be sending a colony ship there soon. The colony ship is named the Bermuda. The ship will be on its way back from an exploration journey. They have star charts that my vice will find useful. They've plotted their course, and they'll pass through the Havasat system, and my voice will destroy the ship. You find the ship, you'll find my vice.
We'll use that information to the best of our abilities. I think we're done here.
In a last fit of defiance, I'm going to slam my fist against the window, whatever it is.
Okay.
I know it's not going to do anything, but for me.
You do. You smack against it. He
Some
doesn't
way.
flinch. He looks at you, and when he says this, he looks at you the entire time.
Look forward to our next visit.
And I'm just going to shuffle away.
I kind of like grab his shoulder and like hurt him away, and then as I'm passing by him, I just spit in his direction, and then just turn. Don't even look at him as I walk away.
You?
Dresses you, Laurel, as you walk away.
You'll thank me most of all.
And I walk away as well.
Don't look at him. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No, I stop and I look at him. I just kind of glare. How do you know who I am?
I don't. You are Vesco, you know?
Obviously.
This has gotten even more boring as we've gone on. Can we go now?
And I'm already like, Greg's like walking out.
Lead the way, and I follow Greg out.
I'm just in a huff. I'm just leaving.
Yep. So y'all leave the same door that Argus left out earlier, or do you want to go back up to the Warden's chamber? You can choose either exit.
Well, we were talking to the wrong person, so we need to go find the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Famous last words, though. We all follow Greg.
We
Best
all
advice.
follow Greg.
So, okay. Wrong person. Okay. Alright, so you go out the same door that Argus went out, and as you leave, he doesn't move, he doesn't sit, he doesn't turn. His head simply pivots and watches you walk out, and the door seals behind you. You are now in a white corridor, more akin to the bowels of the station in which you were entering from earlier. This one is back to that same aesthetic, same lighting aesthetic as the halls upstairs. Just instead of black walls and blue neons, it's white walls with white neons. That seems to just light the whole thing in a unilateral color. Goes on down, seems to reach as you continue downwards. Should you be conversing while you're doing this, there's some medical bays down there, things of that sort. Man, you guys are on your way.
Well, we learned more than I thought we would.
We need to find the captain.
I agree. I feel like... Did I know the captain put him there?
No.
Okay. I feel like our captain hasn't especially been very forthcoming with us.
Bet you wanted to put that money in to hear what the conversation was.
I'm not that invested.
We can just talk to her now.
You gonna be okay, Clippy? You seem kind of rattled.
I need tea. And then I just, again, huff off. I'm done. I'm done with this conversation. I need my tea and then I'll calm down.
Alright, so I guess we're hunting for the captain.
Okay.
El Capitan.
So you guys kind of start. This hallway doesn't seem to have too many protrusions, as there are parts that bifurcate off towards other chambers. They have glass areas that show that, oh, this enters that kind of a med lab, this enters that kind of a med lab. There's the occasional group recovery bay of some criminals that are there, recovering from surgery or bruising or whatever. It does eventually lead to a natural end point towards an elevator. And as the elevator opens, the Formian that was walking you guys around earlier, the chief of security, Kavor, is standing there waiting.
Oh, great. It's you.
Back to the ship.
I'm here to escort you back to your ship, should you wish. Or unless you wish to go somewhere else in this prison, the choice is yours.
Do you happen to know where our captain is?
I believe she headed back down towards the hangar bay.
We'll head the same direction.
Yep, basically. I want to go get my stuff. I want to get this stupid key out of my hand, and I want my knife back. Real bad.
You go on down, you go to the Foot Lockers, you go in, you unlock your stuff, get all your items back. Everything is exactly as you left it here. The Formian guides you all back. Oh, you want to do something sassy?
I'm going to snarkily look at him, dead straight in the arm, open up my little chamber, take the key out, unlock it, put the dagger back in my arm, and then just huff off again.
He looks at you with a cockeyed expression. He's like, really? It's, okay. And you head on back to the Meteor. And Keyboard stays with you all the way up until you enter the ramp and you're on the ship. And even while the ship is docked, he's still standing outside the door until you guys actually take off. But sure enough, in the bridge, as you return back, there is Argus looking over some star charts, the local area.
Where to next, Captain?
Just trying to look through some charts. A lot of undiscovered space around here. I can't say I got what I came for, but I'm going to probably be needing a ride back to the ship.
Did you come here for?
I don't believe I pay you enough for that.
Curiosity. I just sit down in the gunnery seat and just chill there, not looking at her anymore. Just kind of give a shrug, like, sit down.
Did you get a target list from the warden?
We got a few ideas. Not much for leads, but we got something.
All right. I take it that you'll be taking care of those right away then?
We'll do what we can. We should maybe do some research on some things first.
Then let's head back to the heap, do your research, see if the others, if the Stellar Explorers brought back any charts that we can update this nav system with, and see if we can help you with your bounties with the Warden. Any objections?
Ready to go when you are.
I do want you all to roll a sense motive check.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, I was going to ask that too.
You all get to do that. Similar to perception. I like to ask, sometimes I'll ask for sense motive checks similar to how I'll ask for a perception check, in the sense of there's the general vibe that could be caught. Mm-hmm. So Laura, what'd you get?
14.
Diantha?
15.
Ooh, Cryptic.
24.
24. And Greg.
I got an 11.
Yay! Diantha and Laurel, you get the sense that, not that she was overly chipper before she left the ship, but there is, there's a downer, but that could be just the general vibe of the room as a whole. Cryptic, something ain't right. There is something, she's discomforted by something. And as she gives out the instructions to leave and head back to the inaugural heap, she leaves the bridge.
Is anybody gonna ask her about what that big guy said?
I think before we ask any questions, we should talk about what we found out, any leads we got. From what I understand, there are 2 main leads that we found. We could go after this drow character.
It's not someone we're gonna get paid by the Warden for.
Let me get some information.
I can tell you now, she won't know. It's a dead end.
How do you know this chick?
Reasons.
I know that...
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I know Xovakteka said that she wasn't involved, but... Well, I don't think she's in any way the top of the food chain. I think she might have some information at the very least. So our other option is to go to this Havaseth system, where...
There was a, what was the Star Empire was going there?
The Aslanti Star Empire.
I don't know, we could track their ship.
You actually, especially being a Vesk, but most Pact World people know of the Aslanti Star Empire.
Oh, okay.
They are, when it came, the Vesk Empire was a big threat to the Pact Worlds. The Aslanti Star Empire is a similar threat that has been there before the Vesk and has been there since. They're not actively at war with the Pact Worlds, but they do not see eye to eye with the Pact Worlds.
Okay.
Yeah, the Aslanti Empire is a bunch of, people you don't want to mess with for the most part.
We don't have to mess with. We just have to follow.
They'd be safer than the matriarch.
Are you sure about that?
I'm very sure about that.
I might know some connections to the Aslanti Empire, perhaps. It wouldn't be in their favor. It'd be someone who fights against them, but...
All we need to do is find this Bermuda ship, follow it where it's going, and we'll pass by the Havaseth? That place that the Vice's ship is on.
So we're more in favor of going for this Aslanti ship than we are to go see the drow, then?
Yes.
Well, Clippy's pretty definite about that.
All right, but I wouldn't say that there are any lesser evils in the situation. They're probably both not fun.
Oh, trust me. This will be a walk in the park.
All right, well, we have our lead. I'm not entirely sure how we find the Bermuda ship, but perhaps we can work from there for now.
I can ask around.
Fabulous. Now about the captain. I suppose we should be questioning, but I, as someone who has experience working with the captain, suggest that we don't come across as, well, we should stay in her good books at the very least.
I don't know. You know her best. It just sounds like she caught this guy, dropped him off to the warden. They had some sort of upsetting conversation. That happens.
I'm not so sure that she didn't take him willingly.
How long have you known the captain?
Only a few months. We aren't bonded or anything.
That should make this easier then.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. Disappointed but not surprised, I suppose, is how you could describe the situation on my end.
So the question is that if we're gonna ask her about it, which I will regardless of what the rest of you do, but if we're gonna ask her about it, do we want to do it while she's here by herself with the rest of us, or do we want to do it back on the heap where she has everybody else?
Now would be a good time, but I do suggest that we keep the questioning neutral, or at the very least, we don't want to antagonize her. She still pays our bills for the most part.
Yeah, if there's one person you should not antagonize, it's your boss.
We keep this conversation with the information we went in with. We know that she talked to the Vesk. It wouldn't be out of the way to ask her about the conversation, but anything involving capturing the Vesk, I imagine we should leave out. At least for now.
Is it a secret if he told us?
You keep calling him the Vesk. If there's anything he is not, it's a member of the Veskarium Empire.
Alright.
And it's sludge.
I just don't think it's worthy of giving him a name, but...
We could just call him the Sludge. I mean, that works.
Sludge. Fair enough. I think we start questioning the captain with what we already know and see where it leads. Understood?
You know her best.
Well, that stands to reason at this point.
Might not be worth much, but you do.
Alright, I guess, should I go talk to her now?
Are we already in the drift?
Would you want to have pulled out a dock while you're having this conversation?
Yeah, I think we would have already been.
Yeah? Okay. So you pull out a dock, the Formian leaves as soon as he sees your ship is leaving, you head on out, you go into the drift, and head back to the drift coordinates that leads you back to the inaugural heap. Yeah, now you're in the drift.
This might be a dumb idea, but why don't we try to entice her to another poker game to get her settled and then ask her questions? It's gonna be sick. Let's do that. Alright. How about a poker game?
Okay. I'll forgo the specifics of getting that to happen. She just... who's gonna go ask her for the poker game?
I'll go ask her for the poker game.
Okay, just for simplicity's sake, roll me a deception check.
We are actually playing poker.
True, but you have false pretenses for it.
Okay.
Isn't that the definition of poker?
Bluffing.
Oh my god.
Okay. That's really good. 18 and then deception. I think I'm pretty good. Deception.
Oh my goodness.
There's no deception. It would be
Bluff.
Bluff, sorry,
bluff. 25.
25? Yeah, then she's like, oh, poker. I mean, we were doing it before we... Yeah. I gotta finish kicking your guys' butts. All right.
I'll
Meet you guys in your very vacant recreational room. Yeah. You have a cardboard box in the middle to put the cards on and a couple other boxes to sit on.
I'll play in this game.
Is there anyone not playing this game?
Greg's not playing. He's making more origami.
Roll a craft check.
5.
We'll deal with that afterwards. All right, you guys, everybody grab your dice. So here we go. So the captain sits down. Let's kind of roll an initiative sort of thing here. So let's roll for first one with one highest number. Guess to go first. Laurel.
1.
Dantha.
Natural 20.
Unless you got a nat 20. Okay, well, in that case, you get to set the bar how much money you want the part to be there.
I'll just put in 5 to start.
Put in 5. Laurel. Oh, sorry, I guess second would be Cliptic. You want to match that or raise it?
I'm gonna raise a 10.
210 or by 10?
210 or by 10?
210.
Okay.
Okay. Do you match that?
Yeah.
Okay. Laurel, you put in 10?
Yep.
All right. Argus puts in 10. All right. Roll that.
Oh.
Okay. Since you got to go first, Diantha, what'd you get?
10.
All right. Cliptic.
Is this with something as well? Or
With your
no?
wisdom.
Wisdom.
Oh, wisdom.
Modifier.
+4.
Oh, okay. So 12.
12 up.
11. We're all very close.
So you'll put your cards down and you look at Cliptic's cards. It's like, oh, Cliptic's gonna win. Cliptic reaches for the pot and the captain puts down her hand. It's slightly better. And she takes the 40 credits to herself.
Good play,
Another
Captain. Of course.
Obviously.
While they're playing, Greg's gonna put his origami down for a moment, disappear into another room, and then come back with a bottle of alcohol that's about half his own size. Yeah. And then he's gonna slam that down on the table, and then he's gonna waddle his way back out again. Well, not waddle, because he's not particularly super stealthy and awesome, but he's gonna go back out and come in with a bunch of cups and bring those over and dump them on the table, and then he's gonna go back over and sit down and pick up his origami again.
Drinking party!
So you guys are there, as you're getting ready for hand number 2, this massive bottle, boom, well, average size bottle, hits the cardboard box, followed shortly by 4 or 5 cups. Then Greg walks away.
This might be also another dumb idea, but can we make it a drinking game for whoever wins has to take a swig? Because, I purposely want the captain to win so she's drunk. And then we can ask her questions.
I don't know. I'll pick up the Kevin core and pour a glass for everyone, but I'm not going to suggest the idea of a drinking game.
Damn it. Fine. Alright.
Would I know the captain's drinking habits?
She drinks.
we shouldn't worry about it.
Okay,
She'll
fair
drink.
enough.
She'll
Alright,
drink.
cool.
As soon as the bottle's there, she goes, oh, great idea, Goblin's my favorite one. She grabs a cup, she starts pouring.
I pour everyone else a glass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, is anyone trying to sway the game one way or the other?
For
Is there
now-
an attempt
for-
to sway it?
Not right now, but I would want to say while we're dealing the second hand, just the captain. So, Captain, I noticed you were you had a conversation with that lizard guy. Just curious what you guys were talking about. If it's pertinent to what our goals. And I'm telling the truth. This is truth. We need to know because we're trying to figure pertinent to our bounty.
As she drinks, she kind of looks at you. There's a bit of a really expression. Sorry, you're asking me to tell you what?
We're got this bounty list, and a number of them are from the same criminal organization of the person you talked to. If there's anything,
Your bounty list includes the 7.
some members, just a few smaller members of the 7.
That wasn't my arrangement with him.
That's what we received. It's just a few smaller members, people who worked under Xovakteka.
That wasn't the intention at all. I apologize. I'm sure he'll pay you well, but they are very dangerous, and if you need assistance in that, or maybe even getting out of the deal with him, let me know, and I'll talk to him. The deal was to take out other criminals, not finish his collection.
We were just curious. We were wanting to do a little bit of research. We weren't going to do anything rash, but he offered to pay handsomely if we did a little bit of snooping.
I'm sure he did.
I actually haven't been really all that familiar with the 7 until quite recently. Do you know the 7 a bit better than I do, Captain?
I know that... I hear the stories like everyone else. I know that they are not all stories. That there is at least some truth to them. And I know that there are some people that at least I haven't seen them in action myself. I have seen those that claim to be members and are vile enough that if the organization is a real thing, I wouldn't doubt that they are a part of it. At this point, the hand has been dealt out and another round is going to be played.
Can I sense motive first on just like if she was lying at all during that?
Sure, go for it. Roll it.
It's 23.
She's not lying. You notice that it's very intentional. She's choosing her words very carefully, and you notice that. So it's not a lie, but you notice she is very selective with her choice of words.
Because we know that she had allegedly brought in Xovakteka, so would it not have counted as her interaction with the Seven?
Correct. And she did. That's what I mean by.
She's the members, but she hasn't been in action.
Yes, she's
Okay.
she's very selective about her choice of words.
Okay.
Technically speaking, the way she worded it is the truth.
Okay.
But it's said in such a way, she's kind of mixing her thoughts and what she wishes the situation to be with the facts.
Okay.
And if you didn't have an ulterior motive to try and get an answer out of her, you wouldn't have thought the wiser.
Okay. Let's play the next round.
Okay. Roll for that initiative there real quick.
Oh.
Laura?
Do we add the initiative modifier to it?
That's your regular initiative, yeah.
Yeah. Then it's 22.
22. Diantha?
4.
From top to bottom. Ecliptic.
That's my wisdom modifier, right? So
No,
that
initiative.
Oh, initiative? Oh,
It's
well,
above health.
13.
Oh, okay.
What do you
Laurel,
mean it's above health?
you get to go first. Do you want to set the bar?
I'll set it at 5 again. I don't have a very high wisdom.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, this is going. I'm pouring another round of drinks.
Fantastic. Cat says nothing about it. She looks at your 5, smiles. She puts down another 10.
So
Makes it
15.
15.
Okay.
Do you put up 10?
Yeah.
Match it. Cliptic, do you put in 15?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, the pot is now 60 credits. Roll and add your wisdom.
Oof.
I hate your dice.
I'm sorry.
Ooh. 5.
6.
Oh my goodness. I have a 5.
5,
That's
6,
a natural.
That's a
one over
natural one.
I throw my cards down in disgust and I grumble, but then when Piptic turns up his hands, I'm like,
Awesome. So you guys put your cards down. Cliptic goes, yeah! Slams his hand down on the table. Like the best, like obviously won the game. Goes and grabs the 60 credits and starts to pile it into his pocket. And the captain goes, full house. No. And he just grabs the credits from you and takes the whole pot of 60. All 3 of you lose 15 credits.
Oh my god.
Okay. And then in this off round too, I'm like, actually, when we were talking to the warden, he mentioned that Xovakteka was bred in by a single person. I thought that was incredible. He's a big guy. I just thought it was really interesting how one person managed to wrangle such a outlaw. Just like in general, I'm not saying it to her specifically. I'm just.
Roll a.
so alcohol.
What's the best way to do this? It's not really.
Bluff?
It's not really a bluff, but it kind of is. Roll a bluff for me,
Okay, roll
please.
diplomacy.
Which would you rather, diplomacy or bluff? Which is higher for
I'm
you?
better at bluff.
Then roll a bluff check.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm rolling so good. 26.
26?
26.
Ooh, I thought I rolled really high. She doesn't think anything of it, of the conversation. She kind of nods and goes, "Oh,
Yeah, I just, he's 10 feet, easy, and I just thought it was
he's large."
incredible that one person managed to. I just can't figure out how they would have managed it.
Luck.
A lot of luck and effort, I'd imagine.
I know. I mean, if it were me, I couldn't have done it by force. That's for sure. It had to be some other method.
Do you think it's other suspicious motives?
I don't know. He's got a lot of connections. He's got a lot of connections. And he's a crafty guy, I figure.
Greg coughs.
Sorry.
And like, as I'm talking, I'm like kind of just trying to see how she's reacting.
Roll a stealth check.
Stealth?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm good at stealth, kind of. Okay. 24.
24?
Yeah, I'm rolling really well right now.
She's down looking at her cards. Doesn't notice you looking. She's just there looking cards. Well, you guys are talking about it amongst yourselves. She doesn't think she's actually actively a part of the conversation.
But like, is she reacting at all anyway? Like, is she?
She's more distracted with the game. It's
Well,
not paying attention to what's
I
going on
guess
at all.
I'll dig.
Let's
Yeah.
play one more round of cards.
Roll initiative. Laurel.
18.
12.
11.
All right. She gets to go first. Captain pulls up her cards. Okay, I'm going to put in another 15. Laurel.
Yeah, we'll match that. See what happens.
Diantha.
Mm-hmm.
And Cryptic.
Yes.
Another 60 coin pot. Roll and add your wisdom. What'd you get, Laurel?
17.
Diantha?
18.
13.
You've got a pair, Cryptic.
Okay.
You've got a pair. Laurel, you've got 2 pairs.
Nice.
Diantha, you got... Yeah, let's say 4 of a kind.
Great.
No, wait.
Lower flush, maybe.
Yeah, one of the... A little bit higher than that.
Okay, like a mid, like a high flush.
Cool.
Well, no, higher than 2 pairs.
Oh, okay, whatever that is.
Yeah. It's been a while since I'm rusty on my poker hands. But then whatever one just barely higher than yours
Okay.
is what the captain plays.
Okay.
Because 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
And she takes the pot and you lose another 15 credits each.
Cleaning us out, Captain.
Yeah, I do a really good job.
This is how I make my money on the side. I need to pay for the bad habits.
Me too.
Going back about the vest.
Who are you gambling with?
I use poker winnings often to fuel things that I have as hobbies. You don't have to play poker to get poker winnings.
Cliptic, you were saying.
Going back to the vest, I think it's a lot more suspicious how he ended up in jail.
I know, it's really interesting.
I'm so distracted staring at Greg, really confused.
Both of you, Cliptic and Diantha, roll bluff checks.
Oh shit! Okay, there it is.
Diantha, what'd you get?
10.
It's a natural 1.
No, it was a 3.
Okay. How about you there, Cliptic?
I have a 10.
It's at this point, as Cliptic just brings up and says it, that the captain, as she's dealt her hand, doesn't even look at the cards this time, puts the cards down, and then looks at all of you.
I'm still staring at Greg. I'm really confused.
So yeah, you may
Could've,
not notice. But she's definitely looking at Cliptic and Diantha
I'm not, and I'm totally like,
with a layer of, like, an underlaying anger.
and I am like, not like stone face, not stone face, but like as if we're having a normal conversation.
I'm just trying to pretend to understand the layout of the cards and why I lost.
Wow.
I'm trying to hide behind that. It's not working, but I'm trying to hide behind that.
Well, he's just an interesting guy, but congratulations, Captain. You cleaned us out.
As you stand up, you've never heard this tone of voice from her before. She goes, "Sit."
I just turn away and look at her. What?
I sit back down, but I'm like, I'm sorry, Captain. Did something upset you?
Did the warden tell you something that I should know? Were
Nothing
you
more.
eavesdropping on my conversation with Xovak?
Of course not.
You wanted to charge us 500 credits to do that.
The
Cliptic's just.
I'm trying. I basically send telepathically through her through Laurel's head. What? And that's it.
It's at this point, Greg, you're working on origami. You hear Laurel just blurt that out.
Getting increasingly irritated with everyone at the table because they can't just get on with it.
You look up, and the amount of saliva you've used to glue, quote unquote, your origami tower together, as you stop and look up at the table in shock, it collapses under its own weight and grossness of wet, messy paste.
Well, shoot. I need to drink more of, what do they call it?
Tea.
Water next time.
Or less.
Yeah, I definitely need more water.
Alright. Well, she's staring at the three of you. She kind of glances at you over in the corner, but it's too much effort, so she goes back to just staring at the three of you guys. But you get some dagger shot at you, eye-wise there, Greg.
Whatever, I'm just letting them handle this situation. Quote unquote, handle it.
What? I mean, we didn't.
It just seems like maybe there's something about this mission that is a bit above our heads, is all.
Alright, that's it, I've had it.
I'm so bored over here, and the origami just goes flying through the air. And I jump down from like this little seat that I was on. It's like,
Listen, your stupid big Vesk friend told us that you put him in there. So it's not a secret anymore. But it would be helpful for us, since we took on a contract that we apparently weren't even supposed to take on, because we were doing you a favor. Because even though you say you don't need us, you actually do, or we wouldn't be here. So maybe we can just have a conversation instead of just being boring.
I just lean back in my chair, take a sip of my drink.
I'm going to make tea, and I get up to go.
Now my origami is ruined!
As you stand up, Cliptic, you just see the captain. She's staring at Greg. As you stand up, Cliptic, she goes and points down for you to sit down again.
Okay, I'm gonna sit down, but my hands are gonna be like folded in my lap like a little kid.
Greg,
yes.
roll a diplomacy check.
oh, I don't care about being diplomatic. I really don't.
No,
Intimidation?
this is for something else. Please roll that.
I rolled a natural 20. Plus one.
I love
So 21.
this game.
Plus 21.
I love this game. Woo. So you say that.
Yes,
It's completely quiet.
probably.
Cryptic goes to stand up and she goes, down. She shuffles over to the side. She pulls up another bucket or box. Motions for you to take a seat right next to her, Greg.
All right, sure.
Okay.
Greg sits down, legs stuck out in front of him.
She looks around, a little less angry now, but she looks around to the group of you. I used to work for the Warden as one of his ghouls, one of his jailers that went out to collect criminals around the systems. And I wanted to leave. I wanted to do my own thing. Yeah, I wanted out. I wanted my own crew. I wanted to travel the stars on my own terms. The Warden wasn't particularly bad to me. I had been working under his charge for almost 10 years. I just wanted my own thing. The Warden doesn't take kindly to people leaving. So said that I would only be able to leave if I could bring back this top honcho in the Seven. So I did. He gave me the heap, sent me on my merry way. questions?
How'd you bring in that guy?
Luck and a lot of effort.
Sounds about right.
And you were alone?
I had contacts and friends that helped me out, but eventually it was by my own hand that I brought him in, yes. He's large. He's not invincible. He's not infallible. He makes mistakes. He's a being.
Did he go
Just because
willingly?
he's large.
He's a
No.
sick being.
No, he was unconscious when I brought him back. I had I was unaware of any form of intention of his to be caught. He was rather comfy on his throne.
Captain, I wish to ask, we saw you talking with person in
Jovak.
Xovakteka. And you looked upset. May I ask what you were talking about?
I refill my glass and I hold it out to anyone who still wants more.
She takes it, just drinks right from the bottle. He started making no sense.
Pardon?
He started speaking and making no sense.
What did he say, if we may know?
I've always had a personal disdain for Xovak. Never liked him. Always knew he was out there. Working with the Warden, you hear all the stories. But I knew about him before I started working for the Warden. I had a mentor once. Traveled the stars. Worked in the Starfinder Society. Believe it or not. Actually worked around trying to find new star systems to claim for the Pact Worlds. That was originally what I wanted to do when I went out in space. Xovak killed him. Destroyed his ship, as the Seven tend to do.
That sounds familiar.
So, of course, when the Warden thought he gave me an unwinnable task, I saw it as an opportunity to get him back and punish him for the rest of his days. Not end them prematurely, but leave him rotting in a box. Let alone the fact that it disgusts me how shiny his box actually is, but that's besides the point. He brought it up in the conversation. Or I brought it up in conversation.
Would I be able to do a mind link to see if I recognize the person that he killed?
Interesting. So does it allow you to see the conversation she had with Xovak?
I know I thought I had something in here that did that. I know it's mind link. It says communicate through touch, but I don't know if that's communicate just physically.
You can send images and visuals to someone,
but I can't take that from them.
No, it's mind melding, but it's the one-way street.
Could she receive images if she asked the other person to send them?
Yeah, it doesn't
You
say
know what? I will say
it's
that
one
it's
way.
two-way. I'll say it's two-way.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It says it's one way. Okay. All right. So then I want to perform mind link. What do I need to do for that?
Ask her.
Just ask him. Captain.
Yeah.
May I have permission to understand better of your mentor?
Sure.
I would like to perform a thing called Mind Link.
I'm familiar with it.
I have your permission to do so.
I don't see why not. What do you need from me?
I need you to just remember your mentor. Picture him in your head.
Okay.
And I'm going to put my hand on her shoulder and then just go hunker down into focus.
Okay. So, for narrative purposes, I'm going to take some leeway here with Mind Link and say that it's when dealing with information that has a lot of emotional attachment, there's going to be a lot of fragmented images. And it's not entirely clear, but chunks of it are. You do see at some point a visual of this person. The person is not familiar to you at all.
Okay.
You do not recognize this male human. But you do witness what looks to be like a recording of like a video recording of the last moments of his ship as it's being destroyed through Farah's eyes as she's watching it, which is for her the confirmation that it was destroyed by Xovak. So you're seeing all these the most recent emotional connection she has with this topic, right? So emotion number one is the confirmation that Xovak did it, and seeing that Xovak's rather terrifying looking ship peers around a massive asteroid. Looks like it's made out of, sure enough, like the descriptions say, bones and flesh and metal.
This is the same ship we're trying to find, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I actually have
So
a
you've
visual
seen
for
what
this
you now can see what the ship looks like as it destroys her mentor ship. The star system looked very weird. There's a visual thing that stands out about the star system. It looks like there's what looks to be they're in an asteroid belt, and it's very colorful, as if there's a nebula nearby that they're inside the middle of. And it's all swirling around what looks to be where the star is. The star is rotating around what you could best guess to be a black hole. That's the most visually striking aspect of the scene besides this terrifying ship. It's also paired with the very specific part of the conversation with Xovak in the chamber. And you're not sure if this has to do with your inexperience with Mind Link, but the two kind of go hand in hand as she's kind of experienced them together very recently, where the conversation in its exact bit goes where she talks about, he's continuing when he was talking with you, he was very stoic. He didn't get positive emotions, negative emotions, nothing. It's at the point in the conversation where he's already experiencing joy.
Okay.
And she's asking him, so does killing my mentor bring you joy? And he goes, I don't have joy for killing your mentor. Well, why not? Because I haven't. Oh, you're calling me a liar. He goes, no, I'm not, my joy is not because I haven't done it. My joy is because I believe you. And that's where she runs out in confusion. And the link breaks.
That is confusing. Okay. I'm so sorry, Captain.
You see that she kind of re-experiences it when you do that. And she kind of goes, yep. I'll see you later. And then leaves. It seems like she wasn't expecting that much would go through.
Right. Well, I know what the ship looks like that we need to find.
Fabulous.
Let me guess, it's the Oxian? Make their ships out of giant dead things. Basically look like zombies in space.
It does appear to match Eox is a planet of the undead in Pact Worlds. And their ships are built not to have life forms living inside because they're zombies, and it's built off of carcasses and bones. The difference here is that it looks like it was also constructed with metal and could house life inside. But yeah, it does look that design aesthetic.
Right. Okay, so then yes, but it looked like it could house living things.
Ugh. Yeah, no, I've heard some stuff about Eoxians and the Seven being connected.
Diantha.
Yeah.
Have you heard of any system that has a nebula with an asteroid belt and very vivid in color with a black hole with stars rotating on it?
Doesn't sound familiar in the slightest.
No, I don't think so.
I feel this is what we need to find that ship.
What are the odds that this is the Half-South system that you saw?
quite possible.
Maybe our first order of business then is to find this system and just take a look.
We'll go back to the heap first.
Yes, of course.
Oh! And Greg jumps down off this little bucket or whatever and runs over and pulls something out from underneath like a chair and holds up this dirty looking rag with stains on it and says,
There it is! Ugh. I'm looking for you everywhere!
Thank you for listening to this Twisted Gear Studios production. The next episode of Spacers will air Tuesday, March 5th. Until then, Tuesday, February 26th is the next episode of The Call, our Call of Cthulhu actual playcast GM'd by Derek Snow. And Friday, March 1st, is the next episode of our collaboration podcast with MacGuffin Media, The Legend of Xingdom. The game system used today was the Starfinder game system by Paizo. Music in this episode was licensed through Video Copilot. Sound effects and ambient tracks licensed through Triune Films, Video Copilot, and Sirenscape. You can find all of Twisted Gears' podcasts on YouTube, Google Play, Apple Music, and Spotify. Please like and follow the Twisted Gear Studios Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Twisted Gear. Your players this evening were Janessa Coles, Lindsay Delansky, Elizabeth Wells, and Bailey Yarkey. Your audio operator tonight was Rob Hickey, and I was your host and GM, Zach Barrett. If you happen to be in the Fort McMurray area, you can find me at Tavern on Main every Monday at 7:30 p.m. for trivia. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.